everyone. Today we are going to start up with a new software, and today is the first class, and this is a software most of you are awaiting for. I've seen lots of people, they want their photographs to be looking quite good, jazzy, and it should be something like it is being shot in studios, and they want to flaunt those photos in your Instagrams and Facebooks and all, right? That means lots of you know how to use Photoshop to a certain extent. Okay, those people who are not aware how to use this software, this training is definitely going to help them out how to do the editing. And those people who actually work on this software can do it in much better way, because I'll be trying to cover up all the details of these softwares. Okay, we'll try to unleash all the strength of the tools what's there in the Photoshop. Okay, technically we are going to do best, and once you're doing it best, you can be the great creative person of this. Now just to tell about Photoshop is the software which is raster based. Okay, when I say raster based, that means it is pixel based. Okay, when you zoom your photograph on the screen, try and do that. Okay, when you zoom it, you can see small boxes. So those boxes are pixels. I'll tell you about pixels, the details of the pixels later. Okay, now, Photoshop is a package which does editing for the raster graphics. That is raster images. Editing. Editing means any sort of alteration, whether it is big, whether it is small, you do any change in the photograph, that is editing. Okay. So, for example, you want to cut some person and put it on some other background. You want to change the color of the photograph. Those things can be done. If you want to create something new, absolutely, by merging few more things, that is editing. Okay, in this complete training, I'll be telling you how to edit the photograph. That's one thing, but other than that, we'll be trying and doing lots of creative stuff like creating digital paintings, how to use brushes to its maximum extent. We'll be learning how to do the digital painting, morphing, okay, all those things, and matte paintings also. Then we are going to learn all the technical things like how best we can work on Photoshop, how best we can compress so that we get the best quality out of it. Okay, once you're done with the Photoshop, you will be in a position to work in any of the company you are thinking of. So this complete training will be helping you to be a best editor of the world. Okay, so let's start with Photoshop, just to give an idea of Photoshop. When you open Photoshop, this is how it comes. Okay, first thing, you have to open a photograph. So you are not creating in the beginning anything, so you have to open it instead of creating new. So you are opening a photograph. Okay, whenever you are opening a photograph, you have to keep one thing in your mind, that you should also open layer panel. Okay, where do you find that layer panel? Layer panel is in window, and F7 is a shortcut, and here you can see the layers. Okay, layers. What are layers? Layers are the transparent sheets which are stacked on top of each other. How it works, I'll definitely show you how it works later. Okay, now just understand why we need layer panel also. Okay, we need the layer panel because whenever I open my photograph, it is in the background form, and when it is in the background form, if I try to move it, it will not move. So we won't be able to transform it or do any sort of work onto it. So what you have to do is double click on it and convert this into a normal editable layer. Now once you have done that, you're able to move your object. Okay, you're able to move your image well. Okay, now this is the interface of the photograph. Here you have Photoshop. On top you will see the menu bar. This will help a lot with lots of options are there. This is the properties which it shows, whichever tool you are selecting, and these are the toolbars. Okay, now these toolbars are really important. All the tools we need to understand well, because they are actually related with the creative aspect of honing the all potential of your photograph editing. Okay, so this is your image where you're going to work, and the panels are here. Okay, these are called floating panels because you can move these panels and dock it wherever you want. So as I just shifted layer panel inside, it got stacked there. I can remove it and keep it somewhere else. So I can actually work with the layer panel separately. I can place it wherever I want. Okay, with that, we have the properties also. So whatever object, whatever image we are selecting, whatever tool we are selecting, if we want to have the properties there, we want to see the properties, then this property panel will show all the properties for your image or your tools. Okay. Now Photoshop, let's start with few of the basic shortcuts which are to be kept in mind before starting Photoshop. A reason, when once you're in the flow of work, you should know how to use the shortcut. You cannot go every time on the tools or on the options and try and use it from there, because that will be a long tedious process. So you have to know all the shortcuts, how you are going to use them. Okay. Now let's start with a very basic. If you want to open any new photo, so Control O. So as you press Control O, you can see the photograph, that are the options from where you can open your photographs. Okay, choose it and open it. That's one. If you want to cut some portion of the photograph and place it somewhere else in the new files, at that time you need a new page, right? So you have to press Control N. Control N is for the new document. Okay. Now Control N, when you're saying it, Control N, you first tab on top, it shows the recent documents. Next tab, it shows you all the saved documents. Then there are options for photo, print, art and illustration, web, mobile, film and studio. So whatever is your requirement according to your work, you can choose from that. Okay. So for example, I'm taking a photo. I have all the options or the sizes which are available for the photograph editing, or if I want to work on to with different compositions also. Okay. So default photo size 16 by 12 centimeter I'll take, and I'll say create. Okay. Before that, we need to understand here. I can give the name for the file, width and height. I can specify from here the unit that is 16 and 12. What are they? They are centimeter. Orientation of a page, how my page should be. Should it be standing, that is portrait page, or should it be sleeping page, that is your landscape page? So you can take those things. Okay. There is resolution. Resolution here can be 72 for display purpose and 300 for printing purpose. So you can take that. And the color mode. Color mode, here we are seeing what? It's RGB color, red, green and blue. That's a primary form of color. If I want this file to be printed, I need to shift the color to CMYK. So that's cyan, magenta, yellow and krypton. Okay, cyan, magenta, yellow and krypton. This color is basically used for printing purpose. Okay, so whatever your purpose for work is, you need to understand that prior. Should it be in RGB, what should be the resolution and what should be the size. If you are not doing that well, if you're not setting that prior, later on it will become very difficult for you to resize it and do all the resetting of the settings for your printing or for your resolution and anything. Okay, now the background by default is white, and then you say create. Okay, so this is how you are going to work on the new file. Okay, now once you are working with the new file or working with the old file, you are always asked to zoom and work. Okay, so for zooming you have Control plus. Control plus is zoom in. Okay, so if I zoom it maximum, I can see the pixels. So these are the small blocks which I was talking about, and these are the pixels. Okay, now I will see on the bottom left corner we have 12800% of zooming available for this. Okay, so this is 12800% of zooming. That is, it's a huge amount of zooming. All the details are seen. Okay, what is zooming? Zooming is magnifying your image for the details. Okay, this is how it is visible. The actual size is always in your 100%. Okay, so Control minus and bring it to 100%. Okay, so this is 100%. This is the actual size of the photograph. Okay, so Control minus is zoom out. And if you want to fit your image, regardless whatever the zoom aspect is, into the screen, then Control 0. Okay, so this is your zooming. If you want to scale, transform any of the photograph, then you have to press Control T. Control T is for the transformation, and you are able to transform it from the corner. In Photoshop 2020, when you're transforming your file, you simply have to go on the corner and scale it for the proportionate scaling. Okay, older version, you have to press shift for one side scaling and shift alt for all the four side scaling. So this new feature has been added where you don't have to press shift, it is going to scale proportionate. Now next important thing what you need to keep in mind is how to fill the colors. To understand, see in the toolbar you have two blocks here. These two blocks are for the filling of the color. Okay, the top one is your foreground color. Okay, the block is for foreground color and the bottom one is for the background color. Now how to fill color in Photoshop? If you want to fill the foreground color or if you want to fill the background color, say for example I'm taking a layer and on that layer I want to fill the color. So filling the foreground color, it's Alt and backspace. You have to press Alt and backspace for filling foreground color. And if you want the white color, that's the background color to be filled, any color in the background you to be filled on a selection or on the layer, absolutely, then press Control backspace. Okay, so Control backspace for background color and Alt backspace for the foreground color. Now Control Z is for undo. Okay, undo, that is going back. In edit you have, see, you can see undo, Control Z. Okay, so new version allows you to do multiple steps back in Control Z only. So Control Z will allow you to do multiple steps back. If you want to redo the things, then here, see, redo, new layer, redo, it's Shift Control Z. So what you have to press with Control Z, you have to press Shift also. Shift Control Z. So redo. So you are able to redo whatever you have undone it. You want to redo it again. So that is Control Shift Z, and Control Z is for multiple undos. Okay. So these are the few important things what you have to keep in your mind. Okay. That's it, I think so. If while teaching itself, if I find few more shortcuts, obviously there are few shortcuts which I have to tell you. As and when there is a requirement, I'll be telling you all the shortcuts how to use it. Okay, in the last software itself, I've told you zoom, Control plus, zoom out is Control minus, and panning is your left click of the mouse and the space bar. So that will help you to pan the image. Okay, that's it. Let's start with the software now. Thank you.